A child's cry pierces the fog of a forgotten New Jersey graveyard. But this isn't just a ghost story. Thai lanterns burn where no light should be. Fresh graves bear the names of missing children, and something beneath the soil is awake. When the shadows start whispering your name, there's no way out. Stay until the end if you dare. And if you crave more stories that follow you into the dark, subscribe now and share your own chilling ideas in the comments. A child's cry echoes in night, not the cry of pain, but of fear, pure, shaking, and desperate. It rises from somewhere deep in the mist-covered graveyard, where the moonlight struggles to touch the crooked rows of headstones. The sound cuts through the still air, pulling you closer, pulling you past the rusted gates where ivy twists like veins around the iron. The wind carries a faint smell, sweet jasmine, the kind often placed in Thai temples during merit-making. But here it feels wrong, out of place against the cold American soil of Pinewood, New Jersey. Locals say this graveyard holds no peace, that the ground beneath it shifts like it's trying to breathe. But no one speaks about the row of small graves at the far end, where the dates of death are carved too close to the dates of birth. No one except old Mrs. Harris, the last caretaker, who swears she's seen candles burning there at midnight, with shadows kneeling that have no bodies. You hear the cry again, closer now. It doesn't echo anymore. It feels like it's right beside you, yet there's nothing there but a carved stone angel, whose face is worn smooth from years of rain. A small paper lantern sways in the wind at the far corner, its glow trembling. It's not American-made. It's the kind lit for Thai loikrathong. But here, instead of floating on water, it's tied to the branch of a dead oak tree, dripping wax onto the ground below. You step toward it, the grass crunching under your shoes. Though it shouldn't. It rained just hours ago. There's a name carved into the nearest headstone, half hidden by weeds. Molly Shansiri. The date stops you cold. It's from just last year. You remember that name from the news. A Thai-American girl who vanished from her home in the middle of the night. They never found her body. The lantern flickers. The air turns warm, as if the grave itself is breathing heat upward. A shadow falls across the stone. But it's not yours. It's small, childlike, and holding something in its hand, a folded piece of paper, dripping wet, with words you can almost read in the trembling light. The cry comes again, but this time it isn't just fear. It's a warning. Your pulse hammers in your ears as the shadow tilts its head, like it's studying you, judging whether you should be here at all. The paper slips from its hand and lands in the wet grass, ink bleeding into black veins across the page. You kneel, hesitating before touching it, the damp chill soaking through your jeans. It's written in Thai, but a few words stand out in shaky English letters. Don't dig. The ground beneath you shivers. Not from the wind. It's too deliberate, too alive. You scramble backward, eyes locked on the soil, as something pushes upward from below. The lantern light catches the curve of something pale. At first, you think it's bone, but it's porcelain, a small doll's face, cracked across one eye, its lips painted into a smile that feels wrong here. The shadow's form starts to thin, smoke unraveling into the fog. But you hear a whisper before it vanishes completely. A child's voice, soft and urgent. They're not all sleeping. From somewhere deeper in the graveyard, you hear movement, slow, dragging footsteps. Too heavy for a child, too unsteady for the living. You freeze, every muscle locking as the sound grows clearer, wet earth squelching under each step, like something climbing up from a place it shouldn't. The lantern's flame sputters, casting wild shadows across the graves, making the crooked stones seem to lean closer. Listening, a shape emerges from the fog, tall, broad. Its head tilts forward, as though the neck can barely hold its weight. The moonlight glints off skin that isn't skin at all. It's stretch paper, brittle and yellow, painted with strange red symbols. You take a step back, but your heel catches on a root, sending you stumbling into another row of graves. The headstones here are different. They bear Thai script carved alongside English. and each one has the same lotus symbol etched at the base. The figure stops just a few yards away. No eyes, no mouth, just that cracked, paper-like surface, as though it's wearing a mask too tight to breathe beneath. From behind you, a faint rattling sound rises, like beads striking together in a monk's prayer bracelet, but it's faster, more urgent, and it's coming closer. The paper on the ground trembles, its ink shifting as though the words are rearranging themselves. And now, in shaky English, it says something new. Your breath catches, because the thing is moving again, slow at first, then faster. Its paper skin cracking with each step, revealing flashes of something dark and wet beneath. The rattling behind you grows louder, and when you glance over your shoulder, you see them, small figures no taller than children, dressed in white funeral cloth, faces hidden under sheer veils. They're holding strings of wooden beads, snapping them in their hands like warning signals. The tallest one steps forward, voice no louder than the rustle of grass. Don't speak to it. The air thickens, like the night is pressing in around you. The figure with the paper skin stops just short of the lantern's light, its head twisting at an impossible angle, listening. Somewhere beyond the graves, a train horn blares, faint, distant, but enough to make every child figure turn sharply toward you. One of them points toward the cemetery gates. The motion is frantic, urgent. You try to move, but the ground beneath your feet is soft now, mud pulling at your shoes. When you glance down, you see pale fingers breaking through the soil, grabbing for your ankles. The lantern swings violently, its light spilling over the graves, and for a split second you see them, faces beneath the earth, eyes open, watching. The paper-skinned figure takes another step forward, and with each movement, you hear a faint tearing sound, like the mask is peeling away from whatever is inside. A thin strip of that paper mask curls outward, fluttering like a dead leaf in the wind, and beneath it, something glistens, not skin, but muscle, raw and twitching, as if it's still trying to remember how to be human. The smell hits you next, rot, mixed with incense smoke. The kind you'd smell at a temple during a funeral, only thicker, clinging to the back of your throat. The childlike figures begin chanting in Thai, low and rhythmic, their small hands moving the beads faster, faster, as if trying to keep the thing from stepping closer. It doesn't work. The figure bends forward, its movements jerky, and one long, darkened hand reaches toward you. The paper on the ground curls upward, lifting as if caught in a wind you can't feel. And a third message bleeds into view in uneven red strokes. Don't let it touch you. You stumble back, your heel sinking deeper into the wet soil, those pale hands from below clutching harder at your ankles. The ground feels warm now, alive, pulsing like a heartbeat. The lantern's flame swells unnaturally bright, blinding you for an instant, and when your vision clears, the paper-skinned figure is closer, too close. Its head is level with yours, and through the tear in its mask, you see an eye. It blinks, and the pupil narrows like it recognizes you. The recognition in that eye chills you deeper than the night air. It's not just looking at you, it's remembering you. Your stomach twists as a memory surfaces, one you didn't know you had. A flash of being somewhere else, kneeling at a small Thai spirit house outside a home in suburban New Jersey, pressing your palms together, whispering a prayer you didn't understand. A pair of small hands had mirrored yours and a voice, soft young, had said your name. Now that same voice is in your ear, though the figure hasn't moved its mouth, whispering in English but with a Thai lilt. You promised. The chanting from the veiled children grows frantic, their voices sharp like knives, cutting through the air. The paper skin peels further, revealing more of the slick, quivering flesh beneath, and the smell of incense and decay grows overpowering. The pale hands gripping your ankles tighten, pulling harder, and you feel the mud rising around your shoes, sucking you downward inch by inch. The lantern above sways violently, and you notice now It's no longer hanging from the oak. It's hanging from a thin, frayed red string that disappears into the dark behind the figure. The whisper in your ear shifts, lower, colder. They'll take you where I was left. From somewhere deep in the graveyard, you hear another sound. Not footsteps this time, but the wet tearing of soil splitting open. The tearing grows louder, spreading through the graveyard like a wave, as if the earth itself is splitting in a dozen places at once. The veiled children stop chanting. Every single head turns toward the sound, their stillness more terrifying than their voices. The paper-skinned figure doesn't turn. It just leans closer. So close you can feel the heat radiating from the raw flesh beneath the mask. Its single exposed eye widens, and a thin trail of black liquid seeps from the corner, trickling down its face and dripping onto your shoulder. The drop burns through your shirt like acid. Your gasp is enough. The thing reacts to the sound, straightening abruptly, its limbs twitching in sharp, unnatural jerks. The red string holding the lantern snaps, sending it tumbling to the ground. The light doesn't go out. Instead, it bursts into a dozen tiny flames, each one darting away across the grass like living sparks, scattering toward the graves. And then the ground opens, not a slow sink, but a violent split, soil and rotted roots tearing apart as skeletal hands erupt upward, some clutching fragments of dolls, others tangled with prayer beads. The air fills with whispers in Thai and English, layered over one another until you can't tell them apart. They're calling something. Someone. The pale hands around your ankles yank hard, and for the first time, you feel your feet slip completely below the surface. Cold earth swallows your legs up to knees, and the pressure is suffocating, like the ground is molding itself to your shape. The skeletal hands keep pulling, their grip not bone brittle, but strong, as if there's still sinew and will left in them. You try to wrench free, but the more you fight, the deeper you sink. The veiled children begin to move again, forming a circle around you, their beads clattering like 1,000 tiny bones. They chant something new now, a word repeated over and over, rising in pitch, until it's more like a scream. The paper-skinned figure steps inside their circle. The children don't stop it. In fact, they make space, as if it belongs there. It crouches in front of you, its head tilting in that unnatural, insect-like way. More the mask has torn away, revealing half a face, human once, but the flesh is mottled and sunken, stitched together with red thread that runs into the neck and disappears beneath the skin. It raises one hand, fingers long and darkened at the tips, and hovers it just above your chest. The air around you grows heavy, your ribs aching as if the pressure is coming from inside. In the blur of panic, you notice something impossible. Its fingers aren't casting shadows. The skeletal hands tighten one last time, and you feel the pull, not just on your body, but on something deeper, something you can't name. As the figure finally lets its hand press against you, the touch is searing, but not like heat. It's a burn of ice so deep it feels alive, spreading through your chest in sharp, splintering lines. Your breath catches mid-gasp, the air freezing your lungs. The ground beneath you pulses once, a heavy thud like a giant heartbeat, and then it answers with another and another, syncing with your own. The exposed half of the figure's face twitches, its lip curling into something that could almost be a smile. The red thread along its jaw tightens, pulling the skin taut until a bead of dark blood pushes through. The veiled children stop chanting. One by one, they lift their heads, and beneath each veil, you see the same face. Molly Shansiri, the missing girl from the headstone. Dozens of her, each with eyes black and depthless, watching you without blinking. A low hum rises from beneath the soil, a vibration that travels up your legs, through your spine, and into your skull. It's a sound that feels like it's carving into you, making room for something else. The figure leans closer, its mouth finally moving, though the voice you hear is not from its lips. It's inside your head. You came here empty, it whispers, But you won't leave that way. The skeletal hands yank again, and you feel the soil close over your hips. Somewhere beyond the circle of children, another lantern flickers to life, its glow revealing a fresh headstone, and your name carved into it. Your stomach knots so violently you think you might be sick, but the cold inside your chest only spreads, locking your muscles in place. You can't look away from a headstone. Your name is carved deep, each letter too clean, too fresh, as if the stonecutter finished it only moments ago. Beneath your name, the date of death is today. The hum from the earth grows sharper, and with it, you begin to hear voices layered within the vibration. Snippets of English, Thai, and something older, a language that feels like it presses against your bones instead of your ears. The veiled children begin stepping closer, their identical faces pale in the lantern glow. Some tilt their heads the way the paper-skinned figure does, while others reach out with small, dirt-streaked hands, fingertips stopping just short of touching you. The figure's eye narrows. It removes its hand from your chest, and for a moment, you think the pressure is gone. But then you realize you can't feel your heartbeat at all. It tilts its head toward the new headstone, as though admiring a piece of art. When it looks back at you, its voice returns to your mind. Colder now, quieter. They'll remember you as someone who left without saying goodbye. The skeletal hands beneath the soil surge upward, grabbing higher, locking around your waist. Your legs go numb. From somewhere behind the graves, another sound rises, the slow, steady creak of a wooden cart's wheels, rolling closer through the fog. The creak grows louder, its rhythm deliberate, each turn of the wheel dragging like it's hauling something impossibly heavy. Through the fog, you see the outline of the cart. It's small, built from rough, splintered wood, its wheels wrapped in strips of cloth to muffle their sound. A single lantern hangs from its front, casting a swaying pool of light across the ground. Pushing it is a man, or what's left of one. His back is bent so far forward his head hangs near his knees, his hands gripping the cart's handles with swollen, gray fingers. Around his neck dangles a string of marigolds, fresh, impossibly bright, the same flowers used in temple offerings. As he draws nearer, you see that the cart is filled with small bundles, each one wrapped in white cloth, tied neatly with red string. Some are still, but others shift faintly, as though something inside them is moving. The veiled children part to let him through. The man never lifts his head, never looks at you, but he stops the cart beside your half-buried body. The paper-skinned figure steps back, its presence making space for him. Without a word, the man reaches into the cart and lifts one of the smaller bundles. He cradles it in his arms like a newborn, and you hear it, a soft, wet breath, from inside the cloth. He kneels beside you, his cracked lips parting just enough to speak, his voice hoarse and broken. Everyone rides a cart sooner or later. The skeletal hands around your waist pull harder, and the soil rises to your ribs. The weight of the earth presses into your lungs, making each breath shallow, ragged. The cold has climbed higher, curling around your spine like a living thing. The man with the cart places the bundle gently on the ground beside you. It shifts once, then goes still, and you realize a red string binding. It is the same color and texture as the stitches on the paper-skinned figure's face. He unties the knot with slow, deliberate fingers. The cloth falls open. Inside is not a body. Not exactly. It's a shape, small and childlike, made entirely of compacted soil. Its features molded crudely yet disturbingly precise. Lotus petals are pressed into its chest, and its mouth is sealed shut with 3 neat stitches of red thread. The paper-skinned figure crouches lower, its single exposed eye fixed on you, as though waiting for you to understand. The veiled children begin to hum again, their voices vibrating in the air, thick and almost electric. The sound makes your teeth ache. The man dips his fingers into the earth beside you, pulling up a handful of wet soil. He begins to pack it gently against your side, pressing it into your ribs like he's adding to the weight already holding you down. You'll need your shape, he murmurs, his tone almost tender, as though this is a kindness. Somewhere beyond the fog, a bell chimes once, deep metallic, and final. The skeletal hand sees your arms now, pinning them tight to your body, while the soil figure beside you opens its stitched mouth with a soft tearing sound. The sound of the stitches tearing is quiet, but it feels deafening in the still air. A faint exhale escapes the soil figure's mouth, warm and damp, carrying the same scent of incense and rot that clings to the paper skin figure. You can't move. The skeletal hands have locked you in place, their grip so unyielding it feels fused with your bones. The man with the cart scoops another handful of earth and begins to press it into the soil figure's open mouth. Each push forces the dirt to compact, and with every movement, you feel a strange pressure building in your own chest, as if your lungs are filling with the same soil. The veiled children close in, forming a tighter ring, their faces still identical, their black eyes fixed entirely on you. One of them steps forward and lays a small, cold hand against your forehead. The moment it touches you, your vision fractures. The graveyard dissolves into flashes of somewhere else. You see a dimly lit Thai temple, rows of flickering candles, and a line of monks chanting as rain hammers the tin roof. At the far end, on a bamboo mat, is your own body, still, pale, hands folded neatly over your chest with a garland of marigolds resting between them. The image vanishes, and you're back in the graveyard, gasping against the weight in your lungs. The paper-skinned figure leans closer, its mouth finally visible now that more of the mask is torn away. It's smiling, not wide, just enough to show the tips of teeth that are too long, too sharp. You fit, it whispers. The soil figure beside you moves, its dirt-packed mouth parting again, this time to breathe out, and the breath it releases is yours. The moment that breath leaves the soil figure, your chest hollows in a way no air could ever fill. It's not just your breath. Something deeper has been pulled out, something that leaves you colder than the grave around you. You try to inhale, but the air won't come. Instead, your body jerks, and you feel the rhythm of the graveyard heartbeat sink to the slow, steady pulse inside the soil figure. The man with the cart tilts his head, studying you like a craftsman checking his work. He brushes the dirt from his hands, then reaches into the cart for another bundle, as though this ritual is only the first in a long list tonight. The veiled children step back, making space again, but their eyes never leave you. Their hum has turned into something else now, a slow, rocking melody, like a lullaby sung without warmth. The paper-skinned figure straightens, its movement stiff, and lifts the soil figure in its arms. The dirt child's empty mouth hangs open, lotus petals falling one by one into the mud. It turns away from you, and for a brief, wild moment you think it's leaving, until you feel the skeletal hands dragging you deeper into the ground. The soil closes around your ribs, then your shoulders, the cold now and unshakable second skin. You can still see the headstone with your name, just past the cart's wheel. But now there's something new carved into it, a lotus symbol, fresh and wet, as though the stone itself is bleeding. Somewhere far behind you, in the deepest part of the graveyard, a second bell chimes. The second bell's echo lingers, rolling through the fog like a slow tide. It feels heavier than sound, as if each note settles on your skin, pushing you further down. The skeletal hands shift their grip, not pulling now, but holding you in place, as though they know the work is almost done. The man with the cart steps forward again, placing his palm flat against your headstone. The stone hums under his touch, and faint cracked spiderweb across its surface. Through them, you see a soft golden light, warm, inviting, the kind that makes you want to sink into it without thinking. The paper-skinned figure sets the soiled child gently into the cart. The dirt limbs twitch once, its head turning toward you as if in silent acknowledgement. Then its mouth closes, sealing shut without thread, without effort. The veiled children lower their heads. One of them bends to place a marigold garland across your chest, The petals cool against your skin. The scent is sweet, but it doesn't mask the deeper, older smell of the earth holding you. The ground begins to settle, the pull downward becoming less of a struggle and more of surrender. You can feel your heartbeat slowing, matching the deep, steady pulse in the soil beneath you. The man with the cart takes hold of the handles. The wheel nearest you creaks as he begins to push, vanishing into the fog with the paper-skinned figure walking beside him. The soiled child rides silently in the cart's bed, its face turned toward the darkness ahead. Only the veiled children remain, their forms growing fainter as the mist thickens. One lingers a moment longer, leaning close enough for you to hear a whisper, soft, almost kind. You're part of the graveyard now. The last of the soil closes over your face, and the world becomes nothing but darkness, and the slow toll of the third bell somewhere far, far below. The third bell sound doesn't fade. It seeps. It sinks into you, vibrating in the hollow space where your breath once lived. The darkness is complete, but it isn't still. The soil shifts in slow waves, like you're lying in the chest of something breathing. Each exhale carries a whisper, too faint to catch it first, until you realize the voices are saying your name. You try to open your eyes, and they do, but you're not looking up at the night sky. You're staring through layers of roots and stone, as though the earth has grown its own ceiling over you. Somewhere above, footsteps crunch across the grass. You can't see them, but you feel them. Each step sends a shiver through the ground. Through you, a faint glow appears in the distance, beneath the soil, not above it. You can't tell if it's far away or impossibly close. The hum returns, that deep vibration that once made your teeth ache. Only now it feels like a heartbeat you've fallen into step with. Shapes move within the glow. Not human exactly. Their limbs are too long, their heads bowed too low, but they carry themselves like mourners, silent and patient. One turns its face toward you, and though there are no eyes, you feel the recognition. It raises a hand, and the soil around you loosens just enough for you to move, not to rise, but to follow. The warmth of the light grows stronger, and the darkness behind you deepens, pressing like it wants to seal shut forever. The figure reaches for you, its fingers brushing yours, and the earth begins to open ahead, not upward, but forward, like a path carved for only you to walk. You take the first step forward, the soil giving way under your feet without resistance. It's soft now, almost warm, cradling rather than pulling. The glow ahead swells, washing the path in gold, and with it comes a faint fragrance of jasmine and marigolds. It reminds you of a summer you can't quite place, a childhood memory blurred at the edges, where laughter mixed with the sound of temple bells in the distance. The veiled children are there, but their forms are softer now, their black eyes calm. They walk beside you without touching, escorting you like honored company. For the first time, you notice their veils are not white at all, but the pale gold of morning light. The paper-skinned figure waits at the path's end. Its mask is gone. The face beneath is not beautiful, but it is no longer monstrous, just tired and strangely human. It nods to you, a gesture of recognition or release. The man with the cart stands behind it, the soiled child still resting in the bed. But now the child's features have shifted. They're yours, peaceful, complete. The glow rises, filling everything until there's no shadow left, until even the graveyard's cold breath is gone. The hum fades into the low toll of a single bell. Not heavy, not final, just steady, a heartbeat. You step into the light, and the earth closes behind you, sealing the path as if it had never been.